is that we are going to hold the right sides of our shirt front and back together first. And we'll just do this, like on the bodice part of it, just the side seam. Obviously you can pin, I just didn't pin to save the time. So then in this case, your armhole turns out to be enclosed, right? And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna go ahead and, so many times what I've seen people do is flip it and then close it this way. So I strongly suggest you to check two things before you make your sleeve seam and before you sew it into the armhole over here. One, that the single notch is gonna be to the front and two notches are gonna be to the back. So this is the right side. And on muslin, what you can do is you can mark your wrong side, okay? Which means I need to make the seam not like this, but right sides together, correct? So I'm gonna go ahead and,
Or you have your arm on backwards. Be kind of uncomfortable.
right. And then the other way to, on this type of a sleeve, the other way to tell is usually the opening is on the back side, right? So this is gonna be front and usually you close your cuff like this. So this opening is gonna be on the back side of the sleeve.
So you're just showing us an additional way to do the sleeve?
Yep, so on muslin, I would like you to do one sleeve one way and one sleeve the other way. There is always a reason and purpose behind everything we do, right?
Yes, but I've only ever been able to get one. The way you're doing it now, I've only ever gotten one done correctly, and the teacher had to do the other armhole because I could not get them in. I couldn't
Well,
get
then today you will do both.
No!
There always has to be a first day to everything, right?
No.
All right, so technically, if this was a fashion fabric, at this point you will either overlock both of these or you will overlock separately and press these open. In more and better quality garments, these seam allowances will be pressed open because that keeps the bulk
Would you top stitch down?
from the seam. If you overlock them together, you're gonna have to press both the seam allowances to one side, and that creates bulk in the seam. And then same thing right here. In better quality garments, usually, you know, these will be overlocked separately and pressed open, right? I'm sure you learned that in construction one. Whereas in mass production and not so good quality garments, because they're trying to save on the thread and labor once again, you will just overlock them together and just go from there.
I have a question. I don't have one of those machines at home. Can we just like zigzag it, the edge? Or-
Well, I would
I mean-
suggest you to use this overlock machine. On muslin, you don't have to worry about
no, I
that.
meant on your garment because, okay,
So use the machinery here since you have it
okay.
here. I mean, you could zigzag it, but I think if you try to use the overlock machine here, that will help you to learn how to operate it too.
Oh, I already know how to use it.
I think they need a slow down button on these
Yeah,
things?
please. I run one of the,
I've noticed like
things because of
industrial
it.
machines are a hell of a lot faster than home machines. So I mean, I like.
You do the armhole, the underarm seam to underarm seam of your bodice and your arm, and then sleeve cap notch to the shoulder notch.
That would mean we had to have notched our
Well, now
Right.
this is the typical way the pattern shows, right?
Right. And then these armhole notches that are right here, notch to the notch, notch to the notch, and then one pin in between. Should be more than enough.